The best pieces of advice that I would give to missionaries that would be going out into whatever mission field is, make sure that you're your first convert. I've learned just in going to various areas that there's no such thing as dead areas. There's only dead missionaries. You know, if you call down the powers of heaven and you ask Heavenly Father what you can do to make this area flourish, He'll give it to you. But you have to be willing to work. Hard work will take care of anything out in the mission field. If you work hard and you're one to hit the pavement, you'll be able to do wonders out in the mission field. I'd follow the mission equation. Our mission president taught this, that faith plus hard work plus obedience with exactness equals the miracles. If you're not seeing miracles out in the mission field, look at what you're doing. Generally, it's in regards to obedience with exactness. Look in the White Handbook and see what you're not doing there. That's a book of blessings. It's not just a book of commandments. If you want a blessing, I remember one time, the missionary that I was training, we were trying to find more prospective priesthood holders. And, because we were really trying to build the unit, because they were really struggling with having men to help build the church, because that's the only way that you can really build is by bringing families and other priesthood holders in, so you can become a stake and temples can go there. But my companion and I were talking, and he's like, "Oh, well, let's look at the White Handbook. What are we not doing in the White Handbook?" And we worked on it that week, and that Sunday, two men came to the church and like, "Hey, we want to get baptized in your church." That's how, literally just how it went. So, when your blessings come from being obedient. One of the things that Elder Holland said, and I think one of his addresses to the MTC is, if you tell me how obedient that you're going to strive to be, I'll tell you how successful your mission will be. So, obedience and success are, they go hand in hand. If you want it, pay the price for it. It's just like all things in life. If you pay the price, you'll be able to get what you want out of it. Be obedient. Love those that you teach. One of the things that my mom taught is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. If you truly love every individual that you walk, if you come into contact with, you'll be able to see miracles and follow the promptings that you're given. You're given those for a reason, and nothing ever happens for coincidence. I think one of the last things that I would encourage you is to learn from all your companions. It doesn't matter how well or not well that your companions are getting along. You and your companion are getting along. Just make sure that you're learning something. From every single one of my companions, I was able to learn something new. Some of the times it was me needing to be a little more charitable and understanding and being able to communicate. That's a big thing with companionships. It's something for later on in life and marriage. You have to be able to say what you want. You can't just assume that people are going to understand the things that you need. You have to say it and talk it over, and that's how you can really work on your relationship. So if you do that, it'll really, really help out. So and make sure you work out every day. It's not just for relieving stress. If you really want to be successful in the mission field and stay healthy and really be able to work to the best of your ability, make sure you lift and do something every single day. So I had goals of making sure that I could come back and hit the ground running in regards to being able to train for football when I got back home. So that's something that I'd highly recommend doing, because it'll just help you it helped me to stay relaxed and so I wasn't antsy. It's hard for me to have a good day if I don't lift and work out. I knew that the church was true, but I was finally able to become converted to it out into the mission field. It really just started out with a desire to know. I didn't have a whole lot of scriptures memorized. I literally all I had was kind of the principles that I'd learned about tithing, and I prayed to know that the church was true, and really that's what I left out in the mission field with. And then God taught me everything else. It was really, really amazing to go through that experience. So as long as you come with that, that heart that's malleable, that the Lord can change, He can do wonders with you. So make sure that you're your first convert. Make sure that you love those that you teach. Follow the mission equation. And make sure that when you come back home, you stay active in the church. There's not a person alive that isn't going to make a mistake, in the upcoming years that will come ahead. Everybody makes mistakes. But if you need to see your bishop, go see your bishop and talk it over and get it done and over with. That's what we have the atonement for. Make sure that you stay active and in the church, and all the things that you taught out in the mission field, that you live, and it's not about being perfect. One of the greatest things that we teach all those, whether it's less actives, recent converts, or investigators, is about the atonement, how every single one of us need it. So make sure you use the atonement, and then just strive day in and day out to keep working, and everything will take care of itself in time. The last thing I would like to share with is learn all that you can from senior couples. And your mission president, and your MTC president, some of the greatest lessons that I continue to learn, and well, not learn, but the lessons that I've learned and I've applied in my life came from a lot of the senior couples that I was with. Learn from them. Like, they have a wealth of knowledge if you're just there to listen. And I remember times in my last area, I remember Elder Harrington. He's now the temple president, I think, in one of the temples in Arizona now. Elder and Sister Harrington. I would just sit down and I'd write, because he'd be telling a story. I'm like, all right, hold up, Elder Harrington. Let me get all that. Let me write all that. Let me write that story down. And then I remember from the Lombardis, I learned to. One of the greatest things that I learned from Sister Lombardi was just like the love that they had for everybody. I mean, they were everybody's grandma and grandpa. I don't think there's a person in Swaziland that's a member that doesn't know the Lombardis. And there's a wealth of knowledge that they had when we were able to talk about everything. And I also was able to learn some of the things that were important to me about cooking. I badger Sister Lombardi. I'm like, how do you do this, Sister Lombardi? And it was just really, really amazing to go through that. Just awesome. The final piece of advice I'd like to give to missionaries that are out in the mission field is don't waste a day. And make sure that you're always striving to find the next individual that's ready to hear your message. Make sure that you're constantly working. And I remember this experience. It was just from a talk that I had heard, but it was a woman that had joined the church, and when she received her patriarchal blessing, in her patriarchal blessing it said that she would have joined the church 25 years earlier had the missionary that had gotten his call, if he would have gone out if he would have left for his mission, she would have joined 25 years earlier. Elders and sisters, it's so important when you do feel that mandate, or you feel that you're supposed to be serving, and elders especially, for like your mandate to serve. It's so important that you think outside the box and you go out of your way to find those that are ready to receive you. Make sure that you're being obedient. I found that it's not about finding the golden investigator. It's about you being the golden missionary. Remember that God doesn't give that which is holy to the dogs or cast his pearls before swine. Why should he give you converts that are just ready to go if you're not worthy to receive these individuals, receive these investigators or recent converts or less actives? You have to change yourself. Anything and everything in the gospel has to happen to you before it can happen to anybody else. Make sure you do that and you strive for it, and everything else will work out. And you'll have a very successful mission. But remember that. Remember my family story that was featured in Meet the Mormons. If those missionaries, Sister Reed and then Sister Cleicas, had they not been ready to receive my mom, like, I wouldn't be in the church today. And if Sister Judd hadn't written her testimony down after my little brother had died, my mom still probably wouldn't be in the gospel. My mom was able to meet a ton of missionaries, and they all helped and had a hand in her conversion. It's so important that we play our part, because each and every one of us has a part to play.